Hello once again on the 14th of August 2025. Now, this song by Ren got me thinking after a chance meeting with an ex-neighbour and an occurrence that shook the village we lived in. And in my life, I've known at least 12 people who have committed suicide. All but 2 of them were men. And this fact alone must reveal something about our society and the pressures of living in it. And committing suicide has always puzzled me, as if you're committing a crime, which of course in many ways it was considered to be years ago. And I'm guessing that was because it was probably said it was a sin against God. Quite obviously, it isn't a crime. It's mostly a cry for help. But not always. 4 people in the village I used to live in died by their own hand. And considering there were less than 50 houses in that village, that is a very high proportion of people, especially over the course of 10 years. And one of them really stands out for me. Let's call him Brian, not his real name. And it was rumoured that Brian had an extremely bad relationship as a young man. And he never got over it properly. Consequently, he still lived with his mum at 56. And like many other people, I only knew him from the pub. And he was, without doubt, blessed with his presence. He was articulate, funny and entertaining. And all those years ago, he introduced me to Pink Floyd. Very grateful for that. And he would always walk past my house every evening on his way to the pub. And his complexion was always very ruddy, red, presumably caused by his pastime. And the last time I saw Brian, he appeared to be sad and worried. And he told me that he had been having tremendous headaches and went to the doctors. And the doctor took his blood pressure and immediately called for an ambulance. And after a week or so in hospital, they released him, but told him very firmly he must give up alcohol immediately. Quite obviously, he had other ideas. And his mum raised the alarm when he went missing. And 2 days later, he was found under a bridge. He'd hung himself in a place where he used to go fishing as a boy. Could it have been prevented? I doubt it in this case. And many souls have already made that decision to leave this world a long time ago, long before the actual day when they do it. Who knows what troubled thoughts run through delicate minds? And of course, drinking to excess certainly takes the edge off the pain. But waking up is always a reality check. And I do know that Brian loved his job. He delivered office equipment and often used to see him parked up in the countryside late in the afternoon, presumably completing his paperwork. What I didn't know was that he was always had a friend with him, half a bottle of vodka. And I'm not here to condemn him. I'm just relating a sad story of a nice man who reached the limit he had set some time in the past. And there's no real moral to this story. But let it be said, outward appearances often lie. People in real pain rarely reveal it. But when they do, they're ignored. as they did in Edvard Munch's painting of the Scream. And it reveals very well the despair and the indifference to it. Painted in 1893, polite society had no time for the fragile among us. And I'll leave a link in comments to that painting. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.